welcome to this week's Cruise Chat. My name is Kathleen Penner. I'm the owner of Plenty of Sunshine Travel, and today I'm joined by Jared from Scenic Cruises, and I'm really excited to learn more about their line and what they have, and I'm just going to turn it over to you. Thank you so much.
All right, so hello everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in. Kathleen, thank you so much for inviting me on to your podcast, and
I'm happy that you're able to be here.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, thank you. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jared Gelfand. I'm the Business Development Manager for Scenic and Emerald Waterways. I look after Ontario, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba for the time being. I've been in the travel industry for 7+ years and very privileged to visit over 50 countries in 5 different continents. And excuse me, I love travel, and I think a lot of people follow that same suit because it brings people together, learn about cultures, different experiences, history. There's so much that, yeah. So today what I'd like to do is just highlight a little bit of Scenic's background and our history for those of you who don't know who we are. I think it's important that you understand who you're going to travel with. We'll look at a little bit of the onboard experience. I'll showcase just a few popular itineraries for our first-time river cruisers. We have a whole lot of itineraries out there, so if you see something or if you're interested in something that I'm not talking about, talk to Kathleen after, and she can go through the brochure or send you the online information as well. I'll go through a few little travel tips and hints, and then highlight some of the specials because there's some changes with the whole pandemic as far as registration, so I'll just clarify what those are as well.
Okay, great. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. So, those of you who aren't aware, Scenic has been in business for over 30 years now. We actually started off as a coach tour company, believe it or not, but then we shifted over into river cruising, and now we're actually doing ocean cruising as well too. But we do have offices all over the world, so we're an Australian company, but we also have an office in the US, in the UK, and in Canada as well. So in Vancouver, that's where our Canadian call center is, our Canadian operations are ran out of. But what we do on Scenic, it's sort of, we like to say that you don't need to open up your wallet when you're traveling on one of our cruises. So it's a very hassle-free experience. We're very inclusive. Everything is included. Your transfers from the airport to the ship, your gratuities, your taxes, your food, your drinks, and that includes not just beer and wine, but also your hard liquor as well too, your excursions. So everything is built into the program that you don't need to worry about it. And I think that it goes a long way for a traveler not to have to worry about all these little costs when you're on a trip.
Absolutely. I hate surprises at the end of a cruise. So this is perfect. You know what you're getting into.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I hear from a lot of people who sail on some of my competitors that they're scared at the end of the trip to open up their bill. You just charge it to a little card on board and everything like that. Yeah, you have no idea what it's going to be. So this way it's very hassle-free. Now, there are just a couple of additional expenses, but I will point them out, so don't worry. And it really doesn't conflict with the integrity of the program at all, but I'll make sure that everybody's aware of it.
Sure, thank you.
So I'd like to just quickly show a little introduction video to Scenic here. And hopefully the quality is not too choppy, but let me play it.
You may have heard of this phenomenon that is happening in Europe right now called river cruising. So, what's all the fuss about? Well, we are talking some of the best destinations in Europe. And with Scenic, everything's included in the price. Your food, your drinks, your excursions, as we cruise the waterways on this 5-star floating hotel. I can tell you, life right now is looking pretty sweet. As you can tell, I've been dragged kicking and screaming to the heartland of European travel. Hey, here he is. Thank you. So Robert, what you're saying is that at any point on this journey, I can call you and you'll come running.
Absolutely. After around, just give me a call, right?
Mate, we are going to be amazing friends.
Thank you. Enjoy. Cheers.
How good's this? The rivers here cut through some of Europe's most iconic cities, and each day you get to explore the magic of this part of the world. So, let me show you where you're going to be laying your head each night. I'm actually pretty impressed with the size of the rooms, especially being on a ship like this. They've all got their own ensuite. They've got a TV here with all the latest GPS tracking equipment, so you know exactly where you are on the river. But this is the piece de resistance, your own private balcony. Seriously, this is the way you want to check out Europe. 1, 2, 3, 4. If somehow Europe watching gets all too much, you can always book in for a massage and facial. So how's the cruise been going so far?
Oh, David, the cruise is amazing. Yeah, we've had a really good time. Really well organised. Everything is really well organised. So today we went on a fantastic bike ride. It was 35 k's and we went through lots of little towns. We had a couple of stops along the river. Our tour guides were fantastic. Yeah, it was just great.
I definitely think it's about my turn now, Kate, actually.
Yeah, that's looking beautiful.
Oh,
it's feeling beautiful.
That was lovely. Look, over the last few years, I've been lucky enough to do a few river cruises, and I've found that they are the easiest, most relaxing way to check out Europe without really lifting a finger. Gives you more time to enjoy the good stuff.
So that's David. He's one of our friends from Australia who helps with videos.
I love the accent.
Yeah, it's great. We actually have quite a few videos with him, a lot of different content, but I chopped a few of them out just for the length of the presentation here, but maybe later we can get them over to you. But yeah, so that was David just kind of giving you the intro to Scenic, and now I'd like to take you on board because I think it's a lot of people are dying to see what it looks like inside and some of the differences that we offer. So here's sort of a blueprint of what the ship looks like just from the outside. And if you take a look from the right, we'll move right to left. You'll notice the jewel deck. So that's pointing to the very bottom. And that's the entry level, our entry level category. So I'll show you what they look like inside as well. And then you move up to our balcony suites, the sapphire deck. Our diamond deck has our owner one bedroom suites and other panorama balcony suites as well. You've got the massive sun deck as well, which gives you incredible 360-degree views of all the scenery around you, which is great. Got comfortable seating out there. We can even do barbecues and mini putts and things like that as well. So a lot of you will be spending a lot of time on the sun deck, I imagine. We've got a wellness center, a vitality pool. I'll show you what they look like inside. Crystal dining, of course, is our main point of dining, which again, I'll show you photos. Portobello's is it's a smaller restaurant, so it is actually by reservation only, but at least one time on your cruise, you can schedule yourself in to dine at Portobello's, and you just have to do that through your butler. Now, if you're on a, let's say, 10 to 14 to 20-day cruise, you can actually go in a couple of times, but on a standard, 8-9-day cruise, you can dine in Portobello's at least once. And then a panorama deck and lounge, of course. So let's go inside. So this is our standard welcome suite, the entry level, like I said, on the jewel deck, so the lowest level. And the one thing to really point out here is that you'll notice there's no balcony on this. So we just have the porthole at the top. Those windows don't open for obvious reasons. But for those guests who find that they don't need to spend that much time in their suite and don't want the balcony, this is just as good. But just, be aware there's no open window. But all the suites do have the flat screen HD television. You've got your bathrobes, your 7-zone core mattress, and they all come equipped with a luxury ensuite bathroom as well too. So you'll notice in the shower, we've got the marble tile. There's dual shower heads, one of them being adjustable as well. Got all the luxury bath products that are restocked every single day, timber wood paneling, and Egyptian cotton sheets. So every suite will come equipped with a beautiful bathroom like this. Mm-hmm. Now, when we're moving on up, heading up to the sapphire deck, this is where you'll notice the size of the suite is actually significantly larger. We're going to about 225 square feet. But the big thing, of course, is having that automatic window, which I'll show you in a slide how that works. But your little floor-to-ceiling window and the balcony itself. So it's kind of like an indoor balcony. And how it works is we have the Scenic Sun Lounge here. So it is separated from the actual suite, which is nice. So if somebody wants privacy while watching TV in the suite and somebody wants to read a book outside, you can actually seal it off, which is convenient. It is temperature controlled as well. So once you open up the door, the AC will turn off. And when you close it, it turns back on. So we're trying to be very environmentally friendly, of course.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, definitely. So I find a lot of people who sort of want to get away from the people, if they just want some time alone, this is a great spot to come back and relax and get that fresh air flowing within your suite. And like I was saying, it's a floor-to-ceiling window, and you just push this button, and it comes halfway down. So it's sort of like an indoor balcony, very simple to use. Now, getting on up, this is our royal balcony suite, which is, again, much larger. You'll notice that this suite comes equipped with a living space area with a floor-to-ceiling window, and then you have your actual sleeping area also with your floor-to-ceiling windows. And the same thing, you've got your Scenic Sun Lounge, the automatic windows as well too that you push of a button, come right down, and yeah, you're able to enjoy and relax.
Mm-hmm. It's a great space. Huh?
It is, yeah, definitely. This is sort of a pinnacle of the accommodations here, the Royal Panorama Suite. Again, we're about 325 square feet. You can't see in the photo, but when you go back, there's actually a large walk-in closet as well, too. You've got the living space. But this is a much larger private outdoor balcony as well, too, compared to the Scenic Sun Lounge. So space. There's a few extra amenities that come when you book into the suite. For example, you do receive additional butler services. There'll be a bottle of champagne waiting for you, a fruit platter, things like that. So when you're looking in the brochure, go to the back and you can see all the suites that are listed, and it'll tell you all the extras that come into the Royal Panorama.
But all the suites have a butler. This one does have additional services. Okay, that's good.
Exactly, correct.
Good to know.
Now, also, the Sun Deck does provide a vitality pool as well. So I always tell people, especially if you're sailing in the summertime, make sure that you bring your swimming suit with you. Because I found that on my cruises, nobody went into it. My last one last summer was a Budapest. We did the Jewels of Europe, and it was like 40 degrees outside. And
you want a pool.
You want a pool. I can see people sitting, dripping in sweat. And I'm like, nobody's going in. So make sure you bring your trunks. It's great to use. I mean, it's not ideal for lap swimming, but just great for cooling off and relaxing, taking in the scenery. So we also have a salt therapy lounge that's included complimentary. This is really a great spot for peace and tranquility. And if you just want to relax, you'll notice, the back area is actually handcrafted from salt brick. And it gives off sort of a microclimate of being on a salt mine. And there's a lot of health benefits to doing that. So we've got 3 different stations that are in here. We recommend using it for about 45 minutes just so you can be mindful of everybody on the ship. You don't want to be in there for 3-4 hours. So about 45 minutes per session. There's relaxation music playing. There's the little sheer sheets that are separating you. So this is just a great area to come and relax. Now, also on board, we do have our gym, or as I like to joke around, it's the least populated area on our ships. If you're looking for total peace and tranquility, or just some time for meditation, jump into the wellness facility, because usually there's not too many people in there. For those of you who want to stay active, we do have a weight rack and the treadmills. There's water and towels readily available that, of course, are cleaned constantly. So please take advantage of that. That is complimentary. Now, I did mention I would point out the one extra that would come out of pocket. So you'll notice the top right image has a massage table. So that would not be included in our programs. If you want to book a massage treatment, that would actually be additional. So that's one extra, but everything else would be included. So
completely understandable for that.
Yeah. Now, sometimes we do have, we can provide onboard credits as promotions or things like that. You can use it toward a massage. The only other thing too is we do have a hair salon on board too. Now, if you wanted to get your hair cut or put some color in or something of that nature, that would also incur an additional charge. So just those few things, keep that in mind, available for you to use once you're on. Now, something unique that we offer are e-bikes. We find that a lot of our travelers nowadays are very active, and going on a walking tour is fun, but they like to actually go out and go riding around. So we do include e-bikes on our ships. We will provide helmets. You just need to sign a little waiver, of course, making sure you're good to go. And, you can take them out at leisure if you want, or we do have included tours that we do. We'll have a guide that will lead you on an e-bike. Now, this is not mandatory, of course. If you're not comfortable going out on one, you don't have to do it. But for those of you who want, we've got them available at your disposal.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. When I heard in the video she did 35 kilometers, I thought, my legs would be killing the next day. So that's perfect. You can take a little break with the e-bike, right?
Exactly. Yeah, they do. They do pick up quite a bit of speed. So you just want to be careful. Right over the weekend, that Simon Cowell from...
I heard about that.
Yeah, he was on one and then had a little accident. Yeah. So you just want to make sure, but you can go at your own speed, of course.
Right. You don't need to open it wide open.
No, exactly. Yeah. So, the one thing I do really like about our bike excursions are that the guides will go at a comfortable pace. I mean, they're not going to be shooting down the road. They're going to because they're giving commentary as well too. And everybody's going to make sure that they're comfortable. And sometimes if we have a couple of guides, we might have one that goes with the quicker bunch, and then we might have one that stay back with people who want to go a little bit more leisurely pace. So you just do it.
Just smart. Yeah.
Perfect. So let's look at some of our signature inclusions. I am a huge fan of eating when I travel. Are you too, Catherine? Do you like to
Absolutely. You have to roll me off the ship at the end.
get the e-bike to take you off, right?
Yeah, it's great.
One of the main reasons I love to travel is certainly to experience the cuisine. And we really want to bring that, the local flavors to our dining experience. So the Crystal Dining Room is where we'll have our main point of dining, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, with the change of health and safety, we used to have some buffet services, but I believe now everything is going to be served a la carte. So we'll have the waiters bringing the food directly to you. There will be lots of change, of course, with health and safety, and it's something that we continue to massage, and we will release more information as it comes. But some of the preliminary talks indicate that we will eliminate the buffet service. And I think tables that seat 8 or 10, I think we're going to keep them to smaller tables as well too. But again, that's ongoing, and we'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes.
There will be, definitely. Yeah, some pre-health checks as well too. But yeah, we'll keep you advised on that information as it comes. But for the food experience, like I was saying, we'll have local flavor to where we are. So let's say we're sailing through Germany, you're definitely going to have some schnitzel, or if we're in France, you'll have the duck l'orange. So you get that local, authentic flavor from where you're traveling. And we have culinary demonstrations on board as well too. So it gives you a good sense of the food and the antiquities and the flavors. The beer and wine is usually a German lager beer, and the wine is usually regional to where we are. And then, of course, you've got your hard liquor that you can have, your Scotch, rum, gin, vodkas, things like that as well too. So that's all available. So that's the Crystal Dining Room. There's no mandatory dress code, so please dress as comfortably as you'd like. If you want to be in a suit and tie, by all means, you can do that. But if you want to be like I'm sort of wearing right now, a little casual, that's totally fine. So this is your vacation. Make sure that you dress comfortable. There's no dress code. There's no seat assignments either. We encourage people to mingle, get to know their fellow travelers, get outside of your bubble of who you're traveling with, because I'm sure, Kathleen, you could probably attest to this, that the people who you travel with, they become like lifelong friends right after.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really nice to meet like-minded people, and you can talk about what you did at the end of the day, and you can just chat away with anybody.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, that's the Crystal Dining Room. Like I mentioned before earlier, there's portobellos, which you can book into through your butler at least one time on your cruise. We've got the River Cafe as well too. So if you don't want a sit-down service, you can just go to the River Cafe and get little snacks throughout the day. We've got some breakfast stuff, little treats and sweets and pastries and things like that. So the one thing I do really like as well is if we're going out on an excursion and you want to stay out in the city, but you don't necessarily want to go looking for food, you can ask for us to pack you a picnic basket full of food. And
that's awesome. Yeah.
we'll send you on your way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
Now we'll always bring you back to the ship to eat because we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner included. But some people want to stay out in the cities and don't necessarily want to come back. But if you want to go out and look for food, again, we can pack that for you. Just bring the basket back, but we'll make sure that you're all set up to go.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Now, we introduced laundry service as well, too. So at least one time on your cruise, you'll be able to get your laundry done. Just ask that for your butler. Like I was saying, guests who are staying in the panoramas or the owner suites, they can have laundry done a few extra times. But at least one time on your trip, you'll be able to have your butler come and do your laundry service. And speaking of butlers, of course, you get a private butler for every suite on the ship. So
that's wonderful. Yeah. Wow.
It's really nice. They are really here to make sure that your needs and wants are exceeded. They're incredible people. They look after, I'm not sure exactly what number it is. Maybe it's 4 or 5 suites, but from my experience, every time I opened up my door, Marco was my butler. He was standing there every single time. I was like, Marco, don't you look after anybody else? And he says, here for you, Mr. Jared. I was like, all right, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, that makes you feel so special too. So that's really nice. Yeah.
It
They're there
does.
to
Yeah.
serve. Yeah.
If you're looking to do things off board, they can actually make those arrangements for you. They can book you into the restaurant. They can do your laundry. They can even shine your shoes if you request that. They can unpack your suitcase. They can repack your suitcase. So they are really here to make sure that they enhance your travel experience.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we do offer quite an assortment of onboard entertainment. In the evenings, we'll usually have a piano player or maybe a jazz band or a little singing, something like that. But like I mentioned before, there's culinary demonstrations. We do wine tastings. We have local entertainment come on board, whether it's dancing or singing or something along those lines. And there's always something going on to keep you entertained as we're sailing. But we never have crazy long sail times, which is nice. We're not spending days out on an ocean cruise. Out at sea, we're porting pretty frequently from city to city. So, and then the beauty along the way is a lot to keep you entertained, plus the bands and the music and the food that we've got inside.
Right.
So go to the onshore experience a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
We've introduced Scenic Free Choice. So like I mentioned, all your excursions are included, but we wanted to give our guests the ability to customize their travel journey. So what we've done with our Free Choice excursions is we'll give you a list of a few different things, and you can just select which one that you like the most. Maybe it's an e-bike ride, maybe it's a walking tour, maybe it's going on whatever the excursion is. So we'll have a few different choices available, and you just check them off.
And you allow more than one choice per port as well, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's a really good thing, because some cruise lines
Absolutely.
only offer one choice, so it's really nice to have an unlimited, if you know, as much as time allows. So that's good.
Definitely. The other thing I really like too is after we've done our included tour, they usually leave free time to explore as well. So you know, we'll do a 2-hour walking tour, let's say, and then you know they'll give you another hour and a half to kind of mosey around on your own, and then we'll get back together at one spot and head back to the ship. So lots of independent exploration time in addition to the organized excursion.
Mm-hmm.
So TaylorMade GPS is our self-guiding app, and it's also the app that our tour guides use to communicate. So what you do with your smartphone is you download TaylorMade app, and you can see from the image right here, it gives you all the different points in the cities. But what our tour guides do is they use the app as well too, and they'll just speak into it, and that's how we communicate. So we don't have like radios or headsets anymore. It's all done through the app.
Mm-hmm.
For people who don't have a smartphone, that's okay, because we'll provide a little device for them.
Oh, good.
Yeah, if you don't have a smartphone, you're not going to be missing out on anything, but we will provide it for you. And you just put it. There's automatic talking points. So if you go up on the sun deck as we're sailing, it'll actually automatically play because it's hooked up to the free Wi-Fi, and it'll tell you everything that's going on. You don't need data while you use it. So when we're actually touring in a city, you don't need to be hooked up to a Wi-Fi, or you don't need to be hooked up to data, because it doesn't operate off that system.
Yeah, I was going to ask that, because that would really add up in terms of roaming charges and whatnot. Over in Europe, being a Canadian, we get gouged a little bit. So that's nice that it doesn't need that. Perfect.
Yeah, all you have to do is download it, but you can do that on the complimentary Wi-Fi prior to coming on your journey. So I talked about Scenic Free Choice being the opportunity to customize your journey. We also have Scenic Enrich. And the Scenic Enrich experiences are really the culturally immersive activities that really give you a sense of where you are. The picture that we're looking at right here, this is at the Palais Liechtenstein. So these experiences are unique because they're sealed off from the general public, and it's just our group that's going to be going into these facilities. And this is a private ballroom, classical music and a ballroom dance performance for us. And they do a few little extra things. I mean, this palace is unbelievable. Once you walk in, I mean, it's so opulent. They'll give you a glass of Austrian sect, and then you're led into this incredible ballroom, and then there's the music and the performance and the dancing. So that's just a little snippet of what the Enrich experiences are. I encourage, when you're looking through the brochures, read through all the details, because they're really unique experiences, stuff that the locals would do. It's not something that's common for tourists, but what the locals are really enjoying on a day-to-day basis. So
which is what I love. I love to tour like a local and see things a little bit more immersive. So that's wonderful.
Nobody wants to feel like a tourist looking at a map on the side of the road. So yeah, those are the Enrich programs. So again, we've got a wide variety: Enrich, Free Choice. Just take a look in the brochures. We always have a cruise director on board that will be giving the daily debriefs and organizing the excursions, and just there to assist every step of the way. But once we get off and we go looking through our cities, we'll have a local guide come join us. And the reason we use local guides is because they're actually from that destination. So they know the city like it's the back of their hand, and they can do ins and outs and the history and point you, go to this restaurant, try that, have a drink there, or look at this site. They are such a wealth of knowledge. Remember, gratuities are included, so you don't need to tip unless you want to above and beyond, but they are already included in the program as well. So you don't need to worry about that with our guides. So that's sort of the onboard experience as far as what the inside looks like, the outside, the excursions, some of the food and the dining experiences, the entertainment. Now I'd just like to kind of shift over into our popular itineraries and give you an idea of where we sail. So this is our Europe map right here. And you'll notice there's no shortage of areas that we sail, away from starting in Portugal, doing the Douro River, working our way through France, the heart of continental Europe, over to the lower Danube, the Mile Zero region. We also do the Russian rivers as well. So there's so many different programs that you can take, just depends what you want. But what I suggest for anyone who's never gone on a river cruise before, the Jewels of Europe is by far the best introductory program. It's phenomenal. It's 15 days from Amsterdam to Budapest, or you could do it first from Budapest to Amsterdam. But taking a look at the map here, why I'm so in love with this program is because you're sailing through quite a few countries, amazing places, and some fantastic cities too. So starting off in Amsterdam, I mean, Amsterdam in itself is a
it's a destination, absolutely.
Yes, the Great Canals. If you're going into springtime, there's Keukenhof Gardens. So if you're into the tulips, the springtime tulips, that's a great area to visit. And of course, there's the red light district as well, which is quite the sight to see. It's worth just walking around and taking in the atmosphere. Not suggesting to participate in anything over there, but just take a look. And again, it's such a city with rich history. The great train station. I really like Amsterdam. I think a lot of people like it. So you start off there, you go down the Rhine, we go into Cologne, which is a medieval city. We have a castle visit in Marksburg. We sail through Germany. We stop in Nuremberg, which is famous for the Nazi war trials, sort of the birthplace of Germany, and of course the trials afterward that led to the hanging of a lot of the high-ranking officials. We sail down the Danube. You can immerse yourself in classical music in Salzburg and Vienna, and then Budapest. I mean, the Parliament building at night, there's nothing quite like it lit up in the evening. So again, for your first-time cruiser, this is the most comprehensive program, and there's, like I just highlighted, and I'm giving really just a quick bird's eye view here, but all of these cities are really fantastic. Bratislava as well too in Slovakia is one of my favorite little stops that we make on this trip. So I was lucky enough to experience this program last year. The highlight for a lot of people is the Enrich experience, which is the best of sound of music in Salzburg show. So we have an included lunch. We'll go off into the hills of Salzburg, and we have a private musical performance based on the famous movie.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a huge highlight. Salzburg, probably the most beautiful city in Austria. It's really, really gorgeous. So again, these are just quick little highlights. I encourage people to look through the brochures, read the itineraries a little bit more. If you have more specific questions pertaining to itineraries, Kathleen, just let me know after. We can get details for you. But France is also one of our most popular regions for river cruising. France is known for, of course, the language of love and great food and a beautiful language. I used to be fluent, but since moving out to the GTA, nobody speaks it here, so I'm a little rusty. But you'll notice we do the Seine River from Paris, going from Rouen, Honfleur. That's sort of the Normandy beaches, that region as well. We've got the Saône and Rhône rivers, and then, of course, the famous Bordeaux region, which, if you're a wine drinker, that's definitely an area that you want to visit. So the most popular itinerary for first-time cruisers would be our spectacular south of France. This is 12 days, Paris to Lyon. Great quote up here that says, "The heat of the sun during the day had warmed the earth, so the sunset was scented with the delicate fragrance of nature, vines, earth, and flowers. The perfume could never be bottled, nor could the moment." I love that quote.
Beautiful.
You need to be there to experience it. I mean, it's one thing to look at pictures or hear somebody talk about it, but once you're there, and you can smell it and you can feel it, that's really where the difference is.
Yeah. 100% different to actually experience it yourself.
Yeah. So France is one of my favorite places as well too. I mean, all of Europe is quite incredible. It's a different world, but the history and the culture is what I really like. So we start off in Paris, and we'll take that high-speed TGV train. It flies all the way down. It's quite an experience itself just to get on there. We'll on our ship over in Lyon, and we'll sail north on the Saône. We'll head up to Beaune, and we'll come back down the Rhône, making stops, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Avignon, and then all the way down to Arles as well too. So again, for the foodies, the food and wine lovers, this is a really excellent trip I suggest going on. Here's the amphitheater as well too. But there's nothing quite like the smell of lavender and seeing these beautiful lavender fields in the purple. Yeah. It's quite spectacular. Really.
That's a sight to see.
It sure is. And they use lavender for everything over there, so you'll learn a little bit more once you get to journey over. So let's move on to one of my other favorite regions. I was really lucky to visit Portugal back in 2013, and I love the lifestyle over there. I mean, they don't start eating dinner till 10, 11 p.m. at night. They don't start work until 10, 11 the next day. They take I think we need to adapt more of that lifestyle over here. But the Douro is such a popular place. Now, the one thing I want to point out, because the Douro Valley, you'll notice just from this image, it's very windy and there's hills in the background. We don't actually bring our e-bikes on board this program because it's not really safe to get off.
Mm-hmm.
These rolling hills, I don't think so. So just be aware, if you're going to take the Douro Valley, we don't have the e-bikes on board. But the Douro Valley itself is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And again, for the wine drinkers, this is really a beautiful place to visit. We'll sail from Porto to Porto. So meaning we go back from Porto to Porto. We'll cross over to Spain as well too. We'll make stops along from Regua, Pinal, Poncino, crossing over the Spanish border. Salamanca is one of the most beautiful cities. But some experiences that we offer on board, we do have a Portuguese culinary demonstration as well too. So you get some local flavor. We'll do a port wine tasting. So if you're into port wine, this is really the region that it's famous for. It's sort of a sweet dessert wine and maybe an acquired taste. I didn't really like it at first, but it did grow on me. So yeah, you'll definitely enjoy that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Stop in Lamego. This is the famous Church of Assumptions. And pictures really don't do justice here. You can see the mosaic tile.
Mm-hmm.
But whoops, yeah, sorry, I don't have an image to show here, but actually when you're standing at the top, you can look all the way down and you have a beautiful view of the city below and the staircase. It's quite the sight to see. So Portugal, very popular. It's very economically friendly as well too in comparison to some other cruises price-wise. I really like it. And again, you can go October, November, and it's still shorts and t-shirt weather almost. So you don't need to go in the heart of the summer per se. You can go shoulder season and still get very nice weather.
Yeah. That's great. And it's not as busy during those times too. So you get not only the cost savings, but being able to get on, to see things a lot quicker too.
Definitely, yeah. So for as far as Europe goes, those are 3 very popular itineraries for first-time cruisers. And I would recommend any one of them to go on. If you're looking for something a little more exotic, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Myanmar, Southeast Asia is an incredible spot to go. So I'm going to highlight a little bit more of Vietnam and Cambodia. But see, we do the Irrawaddy River in Myanmar, formerly known as Burma, sailing from Mandalay all the way down to Prom, and then we actually fly out of Yangon. So that is available. But something that's really near and dear to my heart, which is Vietnam and Cambodia. I'm a huge history buff, so learning not only just about the Vietnam War, but the French occupation prior to that, and the mix between Japanese, Chinese, and Vietnamese culture in some of these cities, and the food and the sights, the people. This is really a spectacular place. You've ever seen before. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to visit, Kathleen, but
I have not, no.
Europe is kind of quasi Canada. There's vast differences, but if you're looking for something that you've never seen before, I think Vietnam is such a wonderful place.
Yeah, it's very culturally different, and it would be really a unique place to travel.
Definitely is. And the Mekong River is great. So this is the Scenic Spirit. This is she first set sail in 2016, so she's a relatively new ship, and she only I believe it's 68 guests on board. So it's a even more intimate experience. While our European river cruises, they can take upwards of 160 guests. This is about 100 guests less. So more time to get to know your fellow travelers. All the suites will have a balcony equipped, and a relatively newer ship as well too. And she's created in a Southeast Asian flavor. So the theme throughout the ship, you'll notice, got the floor to ceiling windows here in the lounge and the Spirit Lounge, great decor.
Beautiful.
We've got a beautiful pool as well too. So this one you can actually do some lengths of swimming. It does hot and humid over in Vietnam. So make sure that you do bring your swimming trunks, take advantage of this, and take a dip in the back. We've got the bar set up in the area too. So have a drink, have some cocktails, and take a dip. Now, if you're going to do this region just once in your lifetime, I would highly suggest doing the longer tour, because we do have a program that's about half the length of this, and it just does southern Vietnam. Well, this program will do North Vietnam as well too, and I would really recommend that if you're going to do this once, make sure that you don't do a disservice.
Do it right. Yeah.
Do it properly, because I don't think you're going to be jumping back and forth too many times. So visit the north as well too. Lots of differences between the north and the south. So we start off in Hanoi. I'll show you some pictures actually in a couple of slides here. But from Hanoi, we'll have included flights down to Hoi An, and then we head over to either at Siem Reap or to Ho Chi Minh to board and head over to Cambodia or reverse, whether it's starting to cruise in Siem Reap and ending in Ho Chi Minh or reverse. I mean, it just depends on the itinerary. But
Mhm.
we do have in northern Vietnam as well too. So after Hanoi, we'll do a Halong Bay cruise. So we'll board one of these luxury junk style boats, and we'll sail through the different bays and inlets, and it's really a cool experience. We also have one of our enrich experiences is we seal off a beach, so we go to a private beach and we have an included dinner, which people really like that.
Yeah, that would be neat.
It is, yeah, a lot of fun. This little luxury junk style boat, it is quite beautiful. They have AC on board as well, two balconies for all the suites. So this is just a 2-night cruise through there. We do get to explore through Hanoi, which if you're into architecture, you might notice there's a lot of French architecture too. But there's the bustling markets. This is a great, lively area where you can go and find all types of goods and foods and things like that. And pristine lakes and gardens. It's quite a beautiful spot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's funny.
Now this is, of course, again, I'm skipping over some stuff here, but heading over into Cambodia, Phnom Penh. This is the Royal Palace, the capital. Cambodia is a very unique spot as well too. So we do learn about its rich history. There is some sad stuff as well too. The killing fields, the genocide that took place. It is a little gut wrenching to hear about it, but it is important, I think, to learn and learn about.
Yeah.
To visit some of those areas. But on more of a happier note, we do have a tuk-tuk ride included, so you can go on one of those. We do have an evening wine tasting on a rooftop area too. So there's lots of fun things to do in Phnom Penh. Sail down the Mekong. This is, of course, Angkor Wat. So known for its famous palaces. There's Angkor Wat and Angkor Thom. We do offer a hot air balloon ride. You might have to wake up a little early to get on it, maybe 5:30, 6 in the morning, something like that. But if the weather permits, you can actually get up. And it was my colleague from Calgary that actually took this photo right here that you're looking at. So
wow,
amazing photos.
That's an experience. Wow.
Amazing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What I find fascinating is how this was once a thriving society, and you learn all about the water management system and how did they live here and what really transpired. So it's quite, when you walk through it, it's almost somber because you're looking around and there used to be people running around through there. I mean, it's just it's crazy to think about. But this is one of the highlights for me, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So, folks, that was just again a quick bird's eye view. I just wanted to give you a few introductions to our popular programs for first-time river cruises.
Yeah,
that was 10% of what we offer. So there's so many different cruises out there. And again, Kathleen, I know you're doing this on a regular basis. So if to get into more specific itineraries.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll have you back and we'll dig right into one itinerary and just, delve through that one. That would be good.
Absolutely. So I'm very happy to do that. Or if you hear people that are interested in one that's popular, we can get into more details. So I just want to go through a few little FAQs. So when it comes to weather, I really wish I could promise 30 degrees and sunny every single day. Unfortunately, it's not quite how it works. But I think the rule of thumb is make sure that you're putting on layers of clothing, something that you peel on and off easily, depending when you're going. That might be cool in the morning and the evenings and hot in the day, or hot all the time. So it just depends. Sailings. Now, of course, with the pandemic right now, we are suspended up until November.
Okay.
Now, we do fully anticipate to be sailing again back in March of 2021. We do have some Christmas market cruises that are still technically operational for December, but we'll see how those play out. Generally, we sail from March to December, but
but 2020 was a write-off. Yep.
Unfortunately, it's really sad, but I think we're expecting that the next few years to come will rebound pretty quickly. So
yeah.
Now,
too, with everybody rebooking into 2021, it's so important to get your spot now, because so many people had their 2020 cruise planned and then they had to move it over to 2021. So if you're thinking of cruising for then, get your spot reserved. That's
absolutely.
Right.
We had sorry, go ahead.
No, it's done. Yep.
Okay. I was just going to say, we for everybody who was supposed to sail this year, and that's really from March, April until November at this point. That's quite a few people. And now they're all booking for 2021. So the space is rapidly going, but if you see an itinerary you like, just look for those dates next year. When it comes to medical, I believe with new protocol, there might be doctors on board. It's not currently right now we don't have doctors on board, but what we have is a network of medical professionals along the routes that if we need to radio a doctor, we can get one to the ship fairly quickly.
Yes.
And that's been the procedure so far, because we're, like I said, we're not sailing for days out on sea. You know, we might be sailing for a couple hours before we're into the next city. So you can get medical staff on board fairly quickly. But again, there might be changes. We might be massaging how that works down the road. So we'll keep you updated on the medical moving forward because of COVID. I do believe there will be some online pre-screening that will be done, and there'll be questionnaires as far as where have you traveled recently, just so we can get an idea and a sense. But again, this is all going to be more concrete as time goes on.
A lot to work out.
A lot to work out. We talked about laundry a little bit before. Clothing, when it comes to clothing, like I said, you don't need to be business attire. You can be as casual as you'd like. Just make sure that you're wearing something on board. That's all we ask. And when it comes to smoking, we do not permit smoking indoors, of course. But if you would like to smoke, there is a designated session on our sun deck, which you can go to. But again, we would encourage that because we port so often. Just wait till you get off and maybe have a smoke after. But absolutely no smoking permitted within the facility, within the ship.
Okay.
Now, so a few things that we have changed, again, because of the pandemic. We understand that people are obviously reluctant to book right now. There's a lot going on. We want to try to ease people's minds. So we've done a few things. We've implemented a few things to try to help get people over the hurdles that we're currently facing right now. So we've reduced our deposit from $500 to $250 per person. So half the cost of the deposit. Some of our bookings right now, these are good before August 31st, that we have gift cards, whether it's a $100 prepaid MasterCard or a $200 prepaid MasterCard, that we do have bonus gift cards that we're giving out in addition to savings that are already in place. There's special offers already out on select sailings where we can already save a couple $100. So now we're giving extra bonus cards. If you have any single travelers, we are offering 50% off single supplement for select dates.
Okay.
A single note that that's pretty significant. Single do go up. So keep that in mind. Kathleen, if you'd be so kind, if you do have somebody interested in that, just talk to reservations and they can give you an idea what dates are available for that.
Absolutely.
And our complimentary deposit protection plan, this is important. I highlighted it just because normally this would cost $125 per person, but we've decided to include it as well. And the deposit protection plan, it allows you to change your departure date for up to 2 years down the road. So let's say, I had a departure in November and it's August right now, and I don't want to go for whatever reason, I can do it for no penalty. So normally that would cost $125, but we've included it to give our guests a little more peace of mind because of the current pandemic situation.
Yeah.
But it is important to note.
So many people are just a little bit concerned, what's going to happen? Should I plan a trip? Shouldn't I? And this just gets you locked in on your date, and then you can change it if you have to.
Exactly. Yeah. The peace of mind, such a difference maker. Now, this is not a substitution for travel insurance. So this isn't medical or cancellation or interruption. This just protects your deposit with us, with Scenic. And if you want to change your departure date, there won't be any penalties or fees in order to do so. It's all included for you. So complimentary deposit protection. And then finally, we have, and again, it depends on the departure that you're selecting, but we have rates for air as low as $295 or $495 or even fly free in some situations. So have your air included on us. And if you want to look to book before August 31st, just talk to Kathleen about that as well.
Perfect.
So those are some of the promos that we have in the current marketplace. It's hard to communicate all that we do in a 35, 40-minute presentation here, but I hope that was a little bit of an introduction and give you some insight as who we are as a company, the inclusivity that we offer, the programs that we offer, and some of the specials that we have as well too.
Yes. And we want to thank you for taking the time today to come and talk with us and to do a wonderful overview of it. And as we mentioned, we'll rebook and we'll dig right into a good itinerary as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me on. And anything I can do to help, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Great. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye for now.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this week's cruise chat with Jared from Scenic Cruises. I thoroughly enjoyed learning all about what they have to offer, their river cruise line, and over in Europe, and some of the places that they go to, like Cambodia, and some of the other ones that are really unique in history. And I think that it's a really neat way to travel and to see some of the new destinations of the world that you haven't been to. Next week, we're going to be meeting with Azamara. And Azamara is an ocean cruise line, and they operate all over the world, and I'm really excited to learn about them, and I hope you are too. That's one of the reasons I started this cruise chat, is so that we can constantly be learning all about the different cruise lines that are available for you, and you can learn and make an informed decision and figure out which cruise line is best that you want to go to. Remember, I put a new show out every week. Ideally, they're supposed to be out every Thursday. Sometimes it doesn't work with technical difficulties or whatnot, but that's always the goal, to come out every Thursday. And make sure you check and see what we have for you. And I really hope to see you next week. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.